who have effectively stimulated this movement. Okay, and they take advantage of it because it helps them get people, troops on the ground, and helps them to get votes and support. They're the ones who are after the publicity. And this is why I'm concerned about the by-election process.
You're talking about the legislative councillors who've tapped into that.
Yes, that's right.
They're after the
They want to
publicity.
tap into that. But this is, you know, like somewhat like riding a wild horse. And what concerns me is that they don't have that horse under control. And that's what's concerning.
Tell me what next. We've now established that there is this underclass of people who are not sharing in the benefits of Hong Kong. We've confirmed
and not being given opportunities. And basically seeing that the government's priorities are totally skewed towards benefiting a small group of very privileged people. Right. And they just feel like their chance, and they're not asking for much. They're asking for a chance.
Okay,
they're not being given that.
What needs to happen next?
Well, I think in practical terms, the government has to look very careful at what we mean by an opportunity society. Is this really what we're talking about in Hong Kong? And if we're not helping students to get opportunities, I mean, this is the same thing.
You're talking about you're saying that this place is being governed very badly.
Yes, and we see the same thing in, for example, the United States. You have the young people there are being saddled with enormous debts, and the anger is building up, and it's just bubbling all over the place. Precisely the same thing is starting here. We have people who look around for opportunity. They want to get just a little bit of help in terms for going to school, you know, improving themselves. And the government's basically saying, sorry, we don't have a penny for that, but we have tons of money for the developers.
Well, you know, Christina Chan, I'll ask you the same question. What next? You said earlier that your overall agenda is that you want to have democracy in Hong Kong. And I've said to Michael de Gaulle that democracy is not going to solve problems like the rich-poor gap, joblessness.
Well, I think it will.
All right.
I think that, you know, if we had democracy, for example, we had genuine democracy.
You've got democracy in the United States. It doesn't solve the jobless problem.
That's a lot of corporations like pouring money into politicians' pockets and helping them run. That's not a genuine democracy. That's why they're only interested in helping out these corporations. And if we had genuine democracy in the Legislative Council, something like this would never have passed. The money could have been used to help poor people.
Every society that is a democratic society have got social problems.
Of course they have. Every society will have problems.
And you cannot say that democracy is going to solve all our social problems.
I don't think it will solve all problems. So at least the thing is that we can solve them together. Like the people can solve them together. We can actually take the matter into our own hands and have a say. That's all we're asking for.
So what do you want to see happen next? Aside from this overall thing about we should have democracy, what would you want to see immediately, in the immediate future?
Immediately,
what do you want the government to do?
Oh,
provide more universities, create more jobs? The railway creates more jobs.
It doesn't actually. It only creates about, what is it, 10,000 jobs or whatever. But then if you actually use half of that money to build public housing, for example, because a lot of the work would be done in Hong Kong instead of in the mainland, you create, what is it, 30,000 jobs? It's like they are not actually creating that many jobs, but they're, you know, pouring our money into the mainland, and it is our money.
Okay, well, I've got just a couple of minutes left here. Michael de Gaulle, I'll ask you this question, and I'll go ask you the same question. After they protested and there were scuffles with the police outside of LegCo, the chief executive, Donald Tsang, came out, as did Ambrose Lee, the security secretary. They had very harsh words for Christina's group of people, and they've asked them to rethink their attitude. It was like lecturing, and basically isolated them into a category of people who are bad. Was that the right way to do things?
No, I don't think so. I think...
was that a political error, a political gaffe?
Certainly it was. I think that what we really need to do is the whole idea of a caring government, a government that cares for the whole society and all the people in society. This is what's being lost in all of this shuffle. And the government is not coming across that way. I think one of the clear things they need to do is in this forthcoming budget, get their priorities in order. And for heaven's sake, use the word poverty. don't just completely cut that out of your speech, as we saw this year in the policy address.
There was a poverty commission.
And which has done what? We do not have.
It's done nothing, actually.
We don't have a competition policy. They've talked about a competition law for years, putting it in place. It's still on the burner. We don't have the minimum wage. In effect, it's still not there. And wages have been driven down.
Sure.
Driven down across the board. And so we really need to fix some of these imbalances and severe
And the sooner the
imbalances that
better.
have come in. Yes.
I've got 1 minute left, Christina Chen. Now, I ask you the same question. Donald Zhang and Ambrose Lee came out and basically attacked you, saying that you're a fringe group, you're radicalized, they will not tolerate your kind of behavior. How did you, when they said this, how did you feel?
Oh, I have the same thing.
Are you radicalized? Are you a fringe group?
I don't think I'm radicalized. Of course, I don't know how many people are willing to take direct
Does it
action.
make you angrier to hear something like that? It makes you even angrier?
Well, I think it's laughable that our government has no ability to reflect and say the same things to themselves.
So you're saying that they were wrong in criticizing you in that way?
I think so. I don't think we're that radical, and it was them who instigated the violence. And I think they should really think about how they should deal with, peaceful citizens and people that have legitimate requests.
Okay, we'll have to end the show right there. Thanks for watching Newsline. See you next week. Good evening.